Today we're going to talk about something that happens mostly behind closed doors. We're looking at the unseen journey of husbands whose wives are diagnosed with ALS.
Just let that sink in for a moment. This quote from a husband living this reality really says it all. It's not just one thing that changes, it's a transformation that touches every single corner of a relationship.
So yeah, this is a story told from the husband's perspective, an experience of love, of course, but also profound change and just immense challenge.
Okay, let's dive in. This is the central question, isn't it? This is what we're really going to be exploring today, looking at the experiences people have shared.
The whole journey kicks off with a moment of impact, a moment that one person described as a sudden storm that just appears out of nowhere. So, just to make sure we're all on the same page, what exactly is ALS? It's a progressive disease and there's no cure. That is the devastating reality that you have to confront from day one.
You can just imagine the emotional whirlwind that diagnosis triggers. For some, it's just pure disbelief, but for a lot of husbands, there's this really powerful instinctive urge to fix it, to fix something that is, by its very nature, unfixable. And that, of course, leads to deep frustration and helplessness, which often gets buried under all this pressure to stay strong for everyone.
This one moment, wow, it just captures that new reality so perfectly. It's a scene of such profound connection, holding hands. But at the exact same time, it's being invaded by the physical reality of the disease, a constant, unavoidable reminder that nothing is the same anymore. And that initial shock, it soon leads to what is probably the most fundamental change of all, the shift from partner to caregiver.
The whole dynamic of the relationship gets completely rewritten. Intimacy and spontaneity are suddenly replaced by duties and schedules. Shared plans for the future become about managing immediate medical needs. The romantic connection gets put under this incredible strain from sheer exhaustion.
And we're not talking about abstract duties. These are intensely personal, physical, and demanding tasks that become the new daily routine, things that were never, ever part of the original marriage vows.
This just makes the reality of caregiving so incredibly tangible. I mean, it's an act of profound care and love, of course, but it's also a constant, painful reminder of the disease's relentless march forward.
So this shift in roles is kind of the epicenter of the earthquake, but the shockwaves, they radiate outwards. So how does this impact spread to every other part of their lives? And that brings us to the ripple effect. This is where the consequences of the disease expand far, far beyond just the couple.
You can see how it just seeps into every corner of their world. Financially, the costs are absolutely enormous. Social circles start to shrink, which leads to isolation. For the kids, life becomes confusing and scary. And for the husband, the mental toll is immense. We're talking anxiety, depression, and something called anticipatory grief, which is basically mourning the future as you watch it slip away. And it's not just one burden. It's this combined, crushing weight. The physical strain of caregiving is piled on top of deep emotional isolation and constant financial pressure.
And that feeling of isolation is just so key. As things get more difficult and friends just don't know what to say, the world can shrink dramatically, leaving these men feeling completely and utterly on their own.
So facing all of that, how do you endure? This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Let's take a look at how they find a way to just keep going.
So how do you find a way through this? Well, it comes down to a few really crucial strategies. It starts with breaking the silence and just acknowledging the grief and fear. It means actively building a support network. And critically, this one's huge, learning to accept help. And finally, prioritizing their own health. That isn't selfish, it's absolutely essential for survival.
What this journey forces is a complete redefinition of masculinity. The old script of being the stoic problem solver just gets thrown out the window. Strength is no longer about fixing things. It's found in vulnerability, in patience, and in compassionate endurance.
And the stories of this endurance are just incredible. Think about that. A decade of relentless, all-encompassing care, given without complaint. That's a testament to a completely different kind of strength.
And really, that's the core message here. The goal isn't to beat this disease in some triumphant movie ending kind of way. It's about adapting. It's about digging deep and finding these reserves of love and patience that you never ever knew you had.
And consider this image for a second. A husband physically carrying his wife in her final weeks. It's just the ultimate expression of commitment and love, right in the face of absolute heartbreak.
So in the end, survival is found in the small things. What gets them through the marathon are those tiny victories, a shared laugh, a quiet moment of connection, just a peaceful evening together.
This whole journey so often happens completely out of sight, which leaves us with a final, really important question. Now that we've seen just a glimpse of this world, how can we get better at recognizing and supporting the millions of unseen caregivers in our own communities?